I've never seen Mark Willard happier. He's smiling. He's got a Giants hoodie on. He's got a Giants cap. He is smiling ear to ear. Ear to ear. Dibs is happy. Mm-hmm. You never dap up Shasky like that, little fist pound coming in. Damn. Dibs fist pounding people?
First of all, two things here. Yes, I do fist pump Shasky. He and I have come a long way. Second piece of this, I'm like an Allen Styles stan, if there is such a thing. I'm not going to say I'm an OG Allen Styles fan, but I got Styles stock early, and my Styles stock is soaring. I'm a huge fan. Whatever, Bonte, you'll always be my number one. You know that.
I'm never
you know that,
number
Bonte.
one.
It's the problem,
Number one.
Bonte.
You know that's a lie. Guru's your number one.
And I don't want to blow up Styles because coming up in 7 minutes, I tell you a story from something that happened this morning that you are not going to believe.
Oh, gosh.
Called a tease.
Yep.
And Mark hasn't heard it.
I only know a piece of it, and it is good.
I'm a huge fan of Styles.
It's good.
A nice mix of solid sports talk and hot takes. I think he has a nice mix of the two.
There you
That's
go.
all.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
It's enough of Styles, but I'm a huge fan.
Appreciate
That's why he
you,
got
Dibs.
dabbed up.
Appreciate you.
Big fan.
How about that, Bonte?
Dude, you're huge. You don't need me anymore,
No.
Bonte.
It's
You're
not
done
that.
with me.
Styles knows what time it is, man. He knows what time it is. He knows who's buying the stock. What's your boy? He knows who's buying the stock early. Look at this guy in.
Look at Bonte, Mr. IPO.
Hey, there you go. There you go. There you go, Guru. No help for you, Guru.
I know, Bonte.
Take a playoff, Guru. Take a playoff. Mark Willard.
Playoff.
Dibs, let me just say, get your takes off now.
Oh.
Because from 9 to 12, it's going to be tough for Mark Willard to take a playoff.
No, I would imagine by 9:12 he'll be weeping, tears of joy.
I'll be asleep.
Yeah.
I didn't go to bed last night.
Seriously, the amount of joy. And we talked about Correa or bust, and they got Correa.
Correa.
And
not a bust.
Yeah, it's not a bust. And so even though he can only bat once every 9 times at the dish, the fact that they have somebody that fans can say, I'm excited about, fill in the blank player. I wonder what number he wears and all the rest of it before we run out and get his jersey. This is a good day. Farhan somewhere has his arms folded and a big grin on his face. And I think it's a lot of like, cool Mo D. How you like me now?
How you like me now? But is it on, before we get there, because there's an argument to be made. Is it Farhan? We had Jeff Blum on, the color analyst of the Houston Astros, and he brought up Pete Patella, who was in that Astros organization.
I'm sure it was key.
But you know what? I don't. Personally,
it's ownership.
I don't care. I don't care who gets the credit anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
5 years from now, we're not going to say, "Oh man, Farhan did this." And that means the Giants got him. They got a guy.
Correct. I think it's important to say though, because if everybody's going to come down his road when they're not getting people, then you have to give him some credit when they do. The truth of the matter is, none of these things are ever one person.
Right.
It's never like when you're going north of $300 million. I do believe the boss steps in.
Right.
I think the owner might have some say as far as whether. So that and from the player perspective, I think we've gone too far through the year with this idea that a player is going, well, I'm not falling for Farhan's pitch. It's so much more layered than that as to where someone's going to go. And the bottom line is, it's probably even less about where Carlos wants to go and more about how Scott Boras played this. I don't think it's an accident that this Mets ridiculousness came up yesterday. That was Scott. The same thing that he did, and it wasn't Scott, but the same thing Judge's agent did with the Giants.
Oh, God.
He's at the St. Regis. Look out, Yankees.
He's
Look
winking.
out.
He's winking.
But it was Yankees all along. And I think Correa was Giants all along. And at the last minute, Francisco Lindor says, I want Correa next to me on the left side of the infield. And it probably costs the Giants another $25 million. Right. And who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares?
Big
Who
deal.
cares?
It's
But Carlos does. And so good for him.
Exactly.
What
Good
about
for
the
him.
years, though? I'm curious who likes is it the player like Carlos Correa? Hey, I want it as long as possible. Or if it was $350 million for 10 years, would the player then say, give me 15 or give me 13 because that's a lower AAV? He's gonna be 41 when this thing is said and done, man. And I'm wondering, we're talking about who got this done.
Right.
There's a good chance nobody else offered this, but the Giants didn't know that. right? Because of the
word is that the Twins offer was nowhere near. I mean, it was in terms of 10 for 285, so it's actually a little bit more per year.
Yeah,
but the overall value, and so what the Giants, it's actually, to me, the years at a certain point, it's actually helping the team because what they're doing is they're stretching their money out.
Right.
This was really underreported, and I found it out a few days later. That $400 million offer to Aaron Judge from the Padres, 14 years. Nobody reported that part of it. They assumed that it was 9 or 10 because that's what the Giants and Yankees were dancing with. The Padre offer was way less per year and stretched out, which sure, the player, I guess, who cares? It's the total amount of money I'm going to get for my life, and that's wonderful. And if I end up being Bobby Bonilla, cool. Yeah. But like, for the team, it stretches out their flexibility, so they want more years. So in a way, yeah, it is a little bit more advantageous for the Giants.
That's actually a really huge deal, that what you just said about the Padres.
Totally.
Because now it doesn't sound – now the Giants – they did have the highest offer.
They had the best offer. And the Yankees matched it in the end.
And by stretching it out, it allows you to stay under the tax and bring in more players around him, which is what we learned from the Bryce Harper deal. The Bryce Harper deal was so big and so long that they were able to bring in other players around him and still make the team better. And, at the back end of it, and Mark had a great line, he's got an 8-year-old. So at the last year of the contract, his 8-year-old will be drinking beer, watching Carlos Correa in his final season.
And by the way, that beer will cost $350 million. So we're working. That's why we're working so hard.
Text line,
we're working so hard.
I caught this text on the text line. I didn't want to read it at the time because I was ready to jump through the computer and strangle him. But basically said, man, by the time Carlos Correa is in his 10th season, Baby Chaz would have developed a crush on Carlos Correa.
Wow.
And I'm like, damn.
You're like, hey, now.
Why you gotta take me there, man? Yeah. Why we gotta go there?
I thought this was super interesting. So late last night, I ended up on Kruger's YouTube deal, and Ned Colletti comes on. So Ned, we go through the art of these kinds of deals, and he had all kinds of interesting stuff to say, and everyone's, Alan, focused on that, the years,
was Krug
13
happy?
years.
Krug's been going in on Farhan Zaidi.
Yeah, he's very happy. So, but one thing he said, because we asked about the years, and Colletti, someone who has held this job, right, GM or president of ops, and he goes, look, the bottom line is when you're signing something for 10, 11, 12, 13 years, if you're the GM, it doesn't really matter because the high likelihood is you're not even going to be there anymore when that back half. So what you're really signing is the front half of the deal. If it goes well, let's say the Giants win a World Series over the next 7 years, well, now you're a made man, and everyone's going to be like, you're good. Even if you stink on the back end of the deal, we're good. If it doesn't go well, you're not going to be here.
Wow.
You're going to lose your gig.
Yeah.
Mark, you mentioned, and I agree with you, that it's not just one guy making a move like this. It's ownership, it's Farhan, it's people tell it's everybody. It's everybody. But boy, did Farhan need this deal. It felt like he needed this
Big
deal
time.
the most after what we discussed yesterday.
But they all did. They all did. So did ownership.
But number one,
I mean, when you hear the label that has been given to this team for the last couple of years of penny pinching, who are we really talking about? Are we talking about Farhan? It's not his checkbook,
right?
And we don't know the Johnsons, and what we do know about him, we're not too fond of it.
Yeah,
right. So we didn't know. And I've always thought, and this is at the core of the conversation we've all had the last couple of years, I've always thought that when the time came, they would be willing to spend. And so now we know they are. They've spent $463 million in the last week and a half.
Big time.
Yeah,
and,
big time.
There's buzz throughout the city, although not in all pockets. And I'll tell you a little story about my morning.
Yes, I want to hear it.
I went down to get coffee, and I don't know if you guys are like this, but my mind works in very curious ways where if I ever walk by a vehicle idling with no driver inside, I think to myself, could I steal that car? If I walk into a place and I see a bike sitting there, I think to myself, could I steal that bike? It's not that I'm going to steal. I haven't stolen anything in about a day and a half. But, so today, I'm in a coffee place here in the city, and I'm waiting for my food. I had my coffee, and I look, and there's a bike, beautiful mountain bike, kind of near somebody, and I had that same thought. And I look, and I think to myself, could I steal this bike? I look at the bike, and I look at the dude next to the bike, and I go, wow, that dude's pretty big. I'm not. And I look at the bike again, and I look at the dude again, And I stop and I look at the hand. There are tattoos on this man's hand. It is Gabe Kapler.
Wow.
So I'm like,
good morning.
Exactly. So I walk over. Actually, before I walk over, he's sitting there. He's got the laptop open. He's on his phone. 28 people in this place. Not a one of them even batting an eye to him. So I, of course, from about 10 feet away, hit him with a cap, and he shoots his head up. And I walk over. Hey, Dan Dibley from Willard and Dibs, 95-7 the game. Good firm handshake. How you doing, Cap? Congratulations, Correa. Big news. Thank you. You could probably play the half.
We thought all along that we were going to be fine.
And we're going back and forth. I said, big for far, huh? And I said, what a great day. I said, we'd love to have you on the show anytime. I said, today is such a great day. And he goes, not a great day for me. And I go, what? And he goes, not a great day for me to come on the show. And I go, come on. I'm trying to close you here. Skipper. Cap. Hey, dude, congratulations. And I go and get my food. I walk out. Not a person even looking over at this inordinately fit, tattooed. And
that's
by the way,
San Francisco, man.
When I walked up on him the first time, the laptop, he closed that thing so fast.
Because he didn't want you to see the name Benintendi.
It's baseball reference. I could have spied in, but Cap is like on his bike, chilling with his Doc Martens, his like calf high boots on.
Did he have ripped jeans?
Yes,
ripped jeans
of course. Body fat of about 2.7%.
One of us.
He's wearing
one
his
of
Trent
you,
Williams.
Styles.
One of you. You're the one wearing the small T-shirts over here, showing the pipes. I mean, this guy.
Seriously.
What's the Starbucks order? Did you see?
He actually did have
Frappuccino.
He had a bag that looked like it may have had a pastry in it, which shocking.
Major bag alert.
Serious celebrations. But anyway, Cap is feeling
That's
it.
amazing, and I'm jealous.
Yeah, he's not getting. And this is, not
is
far
he still
from
there?
here.
How long ago was this?
This was about half an hour ago, so he could still be there.
So maybe if I swerve, where should I make a left?
I'll tell you off air. I don't want people
I'm kidding.
It's the beauty of this city, though, that there literally were 20, 25 people in there, and everyone's like, I'm in my phone, and I'm worried about this, and my .com.
It's really the West. I mean, it's mostly the West Coast. I remember this when I was working down in L.A. and doing stuff with USC. Boop. It was fascinating when you go through. Remember the Paterno story? You go through the Joe Paterno story,
geez.
and all the awfulness around that. But one thing that struck me when that happened is, remember when the Penn State fan base wanted to show their support for Joe, and so what did they do? Well, they all gathered and walked to his house. And I was like, do you understand how weird this is that you just know where the coach lives?
Right.
And so there was the Lane Kiffin, are you going to leave Tennessee and go to USC thing? And it was one of the points I always made. I'm like, do you know how much better it is for a coach? In Tennessee, this is a true story, when Lane Kiffin got that job, he arrived there and there were people on his driveway. Yep. They know where you live.
Right.
They know who you are. They know what your kids' names are. By the way, his son's name is Knox, named it after Knoxville. So they know all these things. You come to California, dude, you might be behind line in Starbucks, and they don't even say a word.
Yeah.
Well, it's better that you rolled up on them than me, because the way I've been torturing the Giants over the last 7 months.
What would you have said?
He probably would have looked at me and punched my lights out. Like, yo, get the hell out of my face, dude. Get out of here.
What would you have said to him, though? What would you have said to him?
I would say, hey, Skip, thanks for embracing the Bay. I would have kissed his ass a little bit. Thanks for embracing the Bay. Hey, man, good to see you courtside at Chase Center, sipping wine, watching Steph Curry bomb threes. Oh, I love that Trent Williams jersey.
I'm like, you came on our show, and my partner Mark Willard did a dead-on impersonation of you, and he's like, I remember that, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
You do it better than me, but it was
what a straight face.
Oh,
it just doesn't,
No, good guy. Second handshake on the way out. A lot of eye contact. Very friendly. There was never a sense of get the truck out of here,
But I hate to do this because obviously love baseball, but is some of that because it is baseball? Steve Kerr can't do that.
No.
You know what I mean?
But 4 chips.
Bob Myers can't even do that.
Bob Myers might not be able
and
to
he's the president of basketball operations.
Wait, do what?
Walk into a
Starbucks
place.
without anybody noticing.
Because of the West Coast, but Steve Kerr can't do that.
Right.
Well,
I bet you Steve Kerr could in this location it's San Francisco.
No,
I think
can't.
The line
Steve,
is Kyle Shanahan.
I know where Steve
Shanahan
Kerr gets his coffee and he gets bombarded.
Yeah, Steve Kerr.
Could Kyle Shanahan walk into an establishment and nobody, that's.
Shanahan would be somewhere in between the two.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr is a way bigger celebrity.
Sure.
And 4 championships, too.
Yeah, and then I always look at sports. Basketball is the most recognizable for 2 reasons. A, I mean, they're just monstrous human beings.
Kerr's always getting teed up,
and I know
too.
Kerr's just right, there's that.
That thing was
But
crazy.
It's the only sport where people
Architects.
aren't wearing hats and helmets and different things. Like,
good
they're
call.
much more
Right.
recognizable because they just look like the same way we see them on TV.
And it took me a third take, and I'm in the
like
business.
Cap, you put that hat down over the eyes and
yeah.
put like a denim jacket on.
Seriously.
Yeah, that guy's walking all over.
Dibs.
I see Taylor
Right?
in the
Yeah,
arena
exactly.
every time.
On the
You said
third
a double
look,
take.
the
You said a
third
double
look.
take.
Well, the first take, I was like, can I steal this bike?
Right.
Because this is what I mean, I don't know if you're like that,
I
Alan,
used to
but
think like that until I was 25.
Same.
Yeah, I used to kind of think, I'm not going to let Dibs admit it.
No, I'm not afraid to admit
Dibs,
it.
you would have went down. You remember that show Bait Car?
Oh, yeah.
Where they would put a car somewhere
Yes,
and they would let them
dude.
seal it and pull them over.
Right.
Dibs, you're going down on Bait
Right.
Car.
But sometimes
immediately.
you walk you walk by a
remember
place
To
and it's
Catch a
like
Predator.
this car is clearly idling, and you look around, it's like I don't see anybody near this vehicle, and you think to yourself, could I steal this car?
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't steal the car. I got too much at stake.
Like, could you pull it off?
Exactly. So I always have that thought. So today I saw this bike. I'm like, could I steal this bike? And then you check, because sometimes you look at like some of the people next to the bike. It's like, if he tried to step up, I think I could at least punch him in the throat or headbutt him.
And
or
then bike off.
Exactly. I think I could get away with it. But today I was like, this dude looks pretty fit.
Yeah.
And so I looked
Gabe
again.
could run, yeah.
And I was like,
he might
man.
have caught you if you
Yeah.
rode off.
Not only that. And so on the
Used to
third
steal a
look,
base.
the second
Dibs.
look, I was like,
Dibs, let's be real.
and the third look, I saw the hand tats, and I was like, this mother jumper.
Hey, but let's be real.
Please.
You were like me last season. We checked out a Giants baseball in July. So I don't fault you for that.
No. With my partner,
I'm
dude, I'm
kidding.
locked in on
I'm
all
kidding.
27 ounce,
I'm
kid.
kidding.
I get quizzed in the morning. Did you see that Wilmer Flores pick in the 6th? Yeah, Mark.
Well, we'll be
Didn't
paying
miss a
attention
pitch.
this year.
Yeah, we will.
We'll pay attention this year.
All right, so grade the offseason. Now where are we? And by the way, still I think,
incomplete.
as Alex Pavlovich put it yesterday, the heavy lifting is now probably done.
It's still incomplete,
But I
though.
think but what's your grade? I'll
I'll give him a B minus.
Yeah, I was going to give him a B. You need a first
Really?
baseman.
You need a first baseman.
They're not getting a first baseman.
Well,
you're
So
gonna.
they're just not going to have anyone
No,
play
they've
first?
got
Flores?
5 people already who can play first base.
Wilmer Flores. Okay, here we go.
I like JD
JD Davis.
I've been saying JD
All right,
JD Davis will
JD
play
Davis.
first. Okay, and I did. Now I know
Sean Manaea,
you're
I'm
gonna-
not high on
Manaea and
that.
Okay.
Stripling are C+.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, the pitching, the Giants have already
You missed
proved,
out on Judge.
They've proven what they can do in terms of pitching. They do it every year. They rehab it. The guess is, if you're a betting man, I would love Carlos Rodon to be on this team, but he's not going to be. And the high likelihood is whoever signs him is probably not going to like that deal in 2 to 3 years. I mean, Ned Colletti, that was another thing he said
Right.
last night. He's like, with pitchers, 5, 6, 7 years, I'm just kind of out on that. So there's that side of it. Now, I'm going to try to say something to you without you throwing something at me.
Oh, boy,
Okay?
good luck.
Because I heard you guys talk about it earlier, and I think that now, because of what they've done in the other spots, what if, with J.D. Davis and Wilmer Flores already on the team, what if for $3 million you told Brandon Belt,
Oh, God.
just platoon, I need 70 games from you, and if you do get hurt, we've got other options. Would you hate that as much as if they had done it last
He's
week?
looking for something to throw.
I'm throwing my
could've
key
gone
card
raspberry
because this is the last day I'm ever coming to 95.7 game talking Giants on Mark
Hold
Davis.
on. By the way,
What if?
let me. I don't think they're doing this.
No, I know.
But because of what
You
they've
know-
done in other spots,
It's kind of where we've
there are no. Who do you want? You want Will Myers, another right-handed hitting first baseman?
Joey Gallo, maybe.
Joey
I'm
Gallo
kidding.
can't hit.
I know.
You know,
Listen. It's kind of like Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
it's
Just got
very much like Jimmy.
exhausted.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what's best for everybody? Just to move on.
But what are you asking him to
on.
do? I think the frustration is based on he was a middle of the order guy.
He's going to want to play. And as soon as, say if you do that, right? And he goes on a heater, like he does for a couple weeks. All of a sudden, everybody's going to be beating that drum. Hey, he needs to play every day.
Well,
he needs to play every day.
Very good defensive first baseman.
Yeah.
Very good defense. Again, to me, everything in life is all about expectations. And if you're not asking him to be in the middle of the order, if you're not asking him to play 130 games, I don't know.
The only reason I wouldn't throw anything at you, and we talked about it earlier.
Oh, you can.
Well, Bonte can't even get in the building now. So.
Yeah, I can't. I'm done. My job's done.
I won this argument.
They got me off the books now.
Yeah, exactly.
Look.
Yeah.
We have somebody to play with. Alan Styles, you sounded really good.
Styles, you're good on the roast. Are you free?
Willard, Dibs, Shasky, and Styles, 6 a.m. to noon, starting tomorrow.
There's something I want to say, but I can't. I won't say it.
Yeah.
I'll leave it alone.
It's too close to Christmas. I know where you're going.
Getting rid of the shift.
The only reason
getting rid of the shift.
Bringing back Bandon Bell wouldn't completely upset me is because the shift's gone.
I'm curious. I'm curious what the deal. Like, has anyone heard his name attached to any team?
I don't like that.
Like Evan Longoria is out there. Always got 5 teams that are interested. All this stuff.
No.
So, I don't know. I don't know. But I don't. If you Josh Bell's gone, you're not getting a first baseman.
Well, you're looking here. There's Miguel Sano. Jesus Aguilar.
Yeah, Miguel Sano, he's been overweight for how many straight years?
His WAR
Styles,
is 0.
Styles, no bringing notes, bro. Yeah. Bringing notes, that's out of bounds, dude. No doing homework, no bringing notes.
39 years old.
This guy's bringing notes.
No.
Hey, Shasky, you better step up, buddy.
I'm hearing footsteps. I may have to start stealing cars and bikes. After all, Styles is coming with notes. Get out of here, Styles.
I don't hate it because of the removal of the shit.
Guru and Dibs are going to be coming with a laptop, man. You got notes.
Guru comes in with the back of an envelope.
Now you calling me a teacher's pet. Thanks a lot, Dibs.
Guru, I love you.
I didn't even write these notes, all right? Sam gave them to me.
Steiny comes in with a legal pad, man. You're fine. You're fine. He comes in with a legal pad that he can't even read. That's he's like, no, what do I have?
Lukewarm coffee and a made-up story.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Lukewarm coffee and a dream. You know
what?
You can come back tomorrow.
It's not the worst idea. Honestly,
I don't even know if they're interested in it.
$3 million.
You know what I mean? Like,
fan favorite. It's a good PR move. He's played in big games. He's had big time postseasons. Brandon Belt, that is.
I know everybody wants everyday players. They do now have some. They're not going to get it at every position.
They have one.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I think Haniger is going to play almost every day.
Okay.
I think that right now, whoever ends up in center field, if at the moment it's Mike Yastrzemski, I think Mike Yastrzemski.
There's no way he plays every day.
Absolutely. He's going to be your everyday center fielder as it stands right now.
Go give me Benintendi.
No shift.
Oh, yeah. So Yaz is going to hit 330.
I mean,
he's going to channel his grandpa.
Now, that's going to be very intriguing. And I'm sure
Farhan,
Farhan and the data geeks, they've looked at all that stuff saying, where would these hits land without the shift?
That's why Josh got 19.6.
They said last year that they think that Wade is going to be one of the guys that benefits the most. We'll see. There are a lot of guys right now on the Giants. You had one really good year, and then you had a really bad year. And where does this go next?
One thing we didn't get into, sorry to cut you off, Willard, but one thing Alan and I did not get into, because the offseason is not over, but as of right now, where do they stack up in the West?
I think a betting person still puts them third.
Yeah.
But it's baseball, and low-key, of all the big-time teams, who's had the worst offseason so far?
Dodgers.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. They did not get better, and they got worse. And they're dealing with the Trevor Bauer hearing.
The Trevor Bauer thing is crazy.
They lost Trey Turner. They got Kershaw back for a year.
Walker Buehler's going to be out for the entire
not
season.
Going to be back. So, Bellinger, if that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but it's a presence. He's gone.
Cap is closed. Cap is closed. Carlos Correa is big time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Padre lineup is intense.
Right.
But it's intense.
We still got to see them.
It's intense.
We're still not convinced, though. They got to do it. They got to do it, the Padres.
It's also a good point. Yeah, they don't have the lineage, but I mean, it's baseball. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, like, if you stay healthy and things are falling your way, like, it's a good division. It's a very good division, and the Giants they're in the mix. They're in the mix. They're not going to be the favorite.
You think part of the reason the Dodgers haven't been making too many moves is just because their farm system is so good? And they've never been shy to give the keys. I mean, Gavin Lux,
they could sign Dansby Swanson in an hour.
Sure.
That absolutely
I think
could
what
happen.
I've read is that it's a lot of Trevor Bauer concerns in terms of the money they may have to pay out. If they have to be on the hook for his entire salary, what do they owe him? $100 million?
It's a lot, and they've been at the top of the financial structure for so long. Like I think that they're kind of in that. All right, now we got to pay the piper, sort of. Right? Justin Turner has aged out. I think he's still out there, by the way, too, right?
Yeah.
So they've lost him, too, at least for the moment. You know, I mean, that lineup is still good, but it doesn't – I mean, you got Freeman, you got Betts, but it's not as murderer's row as it felt last year.
So, Boston, you would know this. Rafael Devers. What's his situation right now?
I think they're looking to try to extend him, and they don't know. I think some teams might be looking at him for a trade, but I think Boston, and I have a couple buddies that are Boston fans, they need to make as mad as Giants fans were with Farhan, they're upset. They're upset over there. So
Boston's
I think it's
off.
more, hey, Devers is one of our guys. Let's go ahead and extend him and at least give I know one of the beat writers over there. So
the tight shirt is lightweight offensive.
What do you mean?
The tight pool party shirt. You wore a pool party shirt after yesterday's performance. I mean,
I like the shirt.
I
hear inspire him for today.
Pool struggle yesterday.
It's a fitness flex is what it is.
It is a fitness flex.
He'll go off today.
Bonte's working 80 hours a week. I'm in my mid-50s. And even Mark Willard, who is about as chiseled as – well, I might have gone to.
And this is where I'm disappointed in the roasters, too. Because I wear a little shirt like that in the roaster, like, oh, Bonte, boy, you got to lay off those biscuits, man. Alice tells, not one comment. Not one comment here. Not one comment here. You know? Mark Willard, okay, we see it, Mark.
It's a downright gun show
you know what I'm saying? I went to the gym on Monday. My arms are still sore from the gym on Monday. Damn it.
Show them off.
Trying.
Show them off. We're showing off pipes. Listen. We're showing off pipes just like Farhan was showing off the wallet.
Hey, man, the suit hides a lot. Hopefully the suit hit a lot yesterday. Hey. You know, by the way, shout out to the suit game. You know, hiding a lot here. But this guy's coming in with tight T-shirts in the morning.
What NBA players do.
You turn on comment.
You turn on NBA on TNT, and somehow Shaq and Charles don't look fat. Like if you just get a really, really huge suit, it's all good.
It's all good,
it's all
baby.
Good, man.
It's all gravy. By the way, the flex is with knowing people in Boston. You know his mama's in a movie, right?
I heard that.
We talked about it.
I was listening last week when that came out. Yeah, that's big. That's big.
I mean,
it's no flubber, but she had a cute little.
That's right.
Cute little walk-on spot.
That's
right.
Great. That's right. That's right.
I was only in the movie with Robin Williams. That's all.
See, I can't even say I'm in the gym. Derek out there on YouTube, Bonte in the gym. Stop the cap.
Wow.
See what I'm saying? Because I love a biscuit or two.
You might be a Gymboree with Baby Chaz. That's about all. I'm gonna walk that off.
Man, so the Giants get Correa. We all feel better. What a difference 24-hour makes.
Yes,
I heard Mark Willard yesterday. Oh, boy, Mark Willard was so down our fall hot, I couldn't believe it. Well, it was the upset of the century.
I don't like the quote. I still don't like the quote.
Oh, the quote stinks.
It's a weird quote, but that can be separate from being down on the entire regime
Captain
as a whole.
Positive is back.
Well, no, look.
Thank God.
Captain Saber Brandon?
From the second judge did not get signed, what did I say? This is savable, but you got to get Carlos Correa.
Yeah.
And they did. So, look, and actually, doesn't it make the other signings that felt small at the time, doesn't it make them feel better? It makes them feel like they fit more.
The Haniger signing feels better.
Suddenly feels better,
because if he's healthy, you may get a 25 to 30 home run guy if he's healthy.
And yes, which is a big if, but he is right now.
He's healthy, Devers.
Like I know you guys said, there's no protection for Correa in the lineup. Haniger,
I need one more back though.
I hear you. Sometimes that'll be Jock. You know who's he's a good hitter. Well, when he's in, when he's in. But
don't worry about August and September last year.
People don't know Mitch Haniger. When this guy is healthy, he has never had a season below 26 home runs.
So not only that, he is good when he's healthy. Tommy Pham also available.
That's not happening.
All right. Willard
but I am in the fantasy playoffs.